Welcome to the Three Ranger Bros audio library.
The home to audio dramas created by the Three Ranger Bros themselves.
Here they have built stories as a team, coming together with their storytelling ability and creating new tales and adventures for you guys to listen to.
These stories have been worked on by the Three Bros, and here we have a channel dedicated to them.
All the stories in this channel have been worked on by all three bros. Each story is crafted.
Then they make their own unique original characters, which they will do the voices of.
They explore many different fandoms and give unique takes and ideas within their favorite fictional worlds.
And best of all, they have created this channel to invite you, the listener, to join them in these fantastic tales. So strap in and dive into the Three Ranger Bros audio library.
Power Rangers Global, Royal Blue Rebirth, Chapter 2, Lightning Strikes Part 2. The Global Rangers stood there before the monstrous form of Thor, the Norse god of thunder. Brohan's words hung in their mind. The infinite lightning strike had a polar attracting force on the other side of the planet. We had to figure something out, the White Ranger barked. Rangers, I have good news and bad news, Brohan stated.
Talk to us, Brohan. What have you got?
The Red Cornish Ranger replied. The bad news is there is another monster with the infinite lightning strike in the Indian Ocean. Seems to be Zeus, the Greek god of lightning. Also, he's already gigantic. The other piece of bad news is, if both lightning strikes continue, the Earth will implode, Brohan explained.
Oh yeah, great. Please say the good news is we have a massive lightning rod.
The Gold Celtic Ranger said sarcastically. The good news is, the source of the lightning storm matches the energy of the monsters. It's almost as if the monsters are the source of the lightning storm. Destroy them, revert them back to their original forms, and the storm should subdue, Brohan stated.
Finally, some good news,
the pink Japanese Ranger muttered.
What's the plan, boss?
The blue Viking Ranger asked.
I'll take the Megazord and handle Zeus. Can you guys handle Thor?
The Red Cornish Ranger asked his team.
We got this, man. Go handle Zeus.
The Gold Celtic Ranger told him. The Red Cornish Ranger nodded at his team, then hit his belt buckle and he teleported away.
Are we done chit-chatting? It's time I destroyed you.
The monstrous Thor growled.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
The Gold Celtic Ranger retorted. Thor threw his hammer. It flew at the Rangers. The Blue Viking Ranger jumped forward and held up his shield. Mjolnir slammed into it, causing the Blue Ranger to slide backwards. The hammer then flew back and Thor caught it. The pink Japanese Ranger jumped up into the air and threw several shuriken at Thor. He swung his hammer ever so slightly, deflecting the shuriken. The White Ranger of Ra took flight and swooped down, aiming straight for Thor. The monstrous god of thunder swung his hammer and smacked the White Ranger. The Ranger crashed into the ground, the concrete exploding as he collided into it. The Gold Celtic Ranger threw his javelin. Thor leant to one side, the javelin flying past him. The Gold Celtic Ranger then disappeared in a glimmer of gold, and appeared on his javelin. He gripped his weapon and swung his feet out, kicking Thor on the head, one foot after the other. Thor let out a devilish laugh as the Gold Ranger landed on the ground. He thrust his javelin forward multiple times, striking the god monster repeatedly. The Blue Ranger stabbed the ground with his sword, and a surge of water erupted around Thor, encasing him in a sphere of water. Thor extended his arm and spun Mjolnir. The hammer rotated at an intense rate. The water spun around to him faster and faster, till it got so hot it burst into steam.
Ha 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 ha! When will you learn? There is no stopping me, mortals!
Thor roared.
By the power of the ocean, I call forth Oceanic Barrage!
The Blue Viking Ranger called out. He then held up his sword. The spirits of Vikings on ghost-like ships appeared out of nowhere and rammed into Thor, bombarding him, phasing through him. The ghost of Vikings swinging their swords and axes, thrashing Thor around. He tried to free himself of the attack. The Gold Ranger threw his javelin into the air and teleported to it. He grabbed his javelin and spun around. Suddenly, his javelin duplicated in the sky. The sky was lit up with 1,000 gold javelins. The Gold Ranger threw his original javelin down and it hit Thor. Then the other javelins dropped down too. Sparks exploded off the monster as Thor staggered backwards. Lightning crackled around Mjolnir as he prepared for his next attack. The White Ranger of Ra took flight once again and summoned the spirit of Ra. The majestic bird-like god appeared and formed around the White Ranger. Then the energy of the spirit shifted into a giant fist. The White Ranger spun around and kicked the back of the hand, and the white giant fist flew down and slammed into Thor. The god was crushed into the ground. Thor stood ever so slowly. His body slow, he let out an almighty growl. The pink Japanese Ranger blurred forward, katana in hand. She moved swiftly and swung the sword with a quick slash. Thor stood there, lightning sparked from his body as he fell backwards and exploded. There's a ripple of dark wisps that disappeared. Suddenly, a burst of energy formed from the explosion and formed into the physical form of the one and true god of thunder. The Rangers gathered around Thor.
Thank you, my friends, for saving me.
Thor said as he gripped onto his hammer tightly, his face painted in sadness.
Dumb question, but are you okay?
The Gold Ranger asked. Thor let out a sigh. He walked over to a bench and sat down. The Ranger strolled on over and stood there staring at the helpless god. He placed Mjolnir down on the ground beside him.
I should not be worthy of Mjolnir. I failed the human race. I attacked and harmed you. I should be shunned by my fellow gods.
Thor muttered. Dude, you got kidnapped by your own brother, then held captive for multiple years, then got turned into a monster to attack us against your own will. I think you're okay, the White Ranger of Ra blurted.
My brother! That fool! I should wage war on him. I shall bring down the whole force of Asgardian fury upon him, even if it is to draw my last breath.
Thor hissed.
Look, we are working on that. But we need to know, why would he want the spirit of Lancelot and Arthur?
The Gold Ranger asked.
Being a trickster god became old and boring to him. He will want more power to become stronger, to overpower us all.
Thor stated. Thor then looked over to the Infinity Lightning Bolt.
You must stop Zeus. End our attack. Please. I, Thor, the god of thunder. Please for your help, Rangers.
Thor begged.
Listen to the guy. Some help would be great.
The Red Cornish Ranger barked through their communicators. The Rangers agreed to leave Thor where he was and go aid the Red Ranger. Suddenly, Heimdall stepped out from his hiding spot and approached his brother. He sat down next to him on the bench.
I am glad you are safe, brother,
Heimdall stated.
Yes, safe for now. But how do I deal with the fact I traumatized these humans? I fought the Earth's mightiest defenders. I tried to destroy the planet. Heimdall, what do I do now?
Thor asked bluntly. The Red Cornish Ranger called for the global Zords, and the Night Zord arrived on its horse. Then the Warrior Zord, Samurai Zord, Pharaoh Zord, and Viking Zord appeared next to it. The Night Zord and Horse Zord combined into the torso for the Megazord, as the Warrior Zord and Viking Zord became the legs, and the Samurai Zord and Pharaoh Zord became the arms, and they all connected. The global Megazord ran through the ocean. The infinite lightning strike was rippling through the ocean, hitting the seabed down below. The giant monster stood in front of the lightning strike. The monster was grey and covered in black storm clouds. They covered the top of his head, transpiring down around his torso, and then exceeded down for his waist, forming into some form of black cloak. His eyes were bright, blurry blue, which matched the flashes that sparked through the black clouds that clung onto him. The Megazord swung its night sword and slashed Zeus across the chest. Zeus let out an almighty laugh.
Please, you have nothing that can stop me.
Zeus roared.
Please, I'm just getting started.
The Red Cornish Ranger mocked. He stood in the cockpit of the Megazord and threw out a punch, the Megazord mimicking his moves perfectly. The Megazord threw out a punch. Zeus caught the fist of the Megazord and released a surge of lightning. The Megazord stood there stunned as the lightning crawled throughout his body, sparks exploding off of it. The Megazord stumbled backwards. The Red Cornish Ranger activated his communicator and heard his team talking to Thor. He let out a sigh of relief that his team was safe, and Thor was no longer a threat. He then activated his side of the communicator.
Listen to the guy. Some help would be great.
the Red Cornish Ranger barked. Within a few minutes, the rest of the team teleported into the cockpit and took their stances.
Thanks for joining the party,
the Red Cornish Ranger stated.
Sorry we took so long. Let's sort out our second Thunder God today,
the Gold Ranger explained.
Guys, this is Zeus. He's the leader of his pantheon.
The Blue Viking Ranger snapped, a little wisp of fear in his voice. God or not, we can't let them destroy the Earth, the White Ranger growled. The Rangers moved in sync as the Megazord swung its sword. Zeus caught the sword and sent a surge of electricity down the blade. The Megazord's arms started shaking as the lightning attacked. The Megazord dropped its sword and took several steps back.
These lightning attacks are making this very hard, guys. I'm up for suggestions,
the Red Cornish Ranger stated.
Maybe a different mode would help?
The Gold Ranger asked.
A change in weapon isn't going to change the fact that he's just too strong,
the Pink Japanese Ranger growled. Suddenly, an almighty howl pierced the sky. The Megazord and Zeus turned to see Fenrir bolting through the water. The massive wolf, which was the same height as roughly the Megazord and the gigantic monster form of Zeus. Fenrir came to a halt and stood tall and proud.
Fenrir, what are you doing here?
The Blue Viking Ranger called out. He was very happy to see his old friend.
Friend Elias, I am here to help in any way that I can,
Fenrir said, his thoughts echoing in the minds of the Rangers. Then, all of a sudden, the Blue Viking Ranger called out in pain as he demorphed, and Elias dropped to his knees. He gripped the forearm of his new magical-infused rock arm. There was a burning sensation within. Even though the arm wasn't his originally, he could feel the pain no less. Then, on the forearm, a grey stone appeared. On the top of the arm, closer to his elbow, Elias looked at the gemstone, and several images flashed in his mind, telling him exactly what to do. He stood up, and his magic arm shook ever so slightly, and then his fist clenched.
Elias, talk to me. What just happened?
The Red Cornish Ranger asked.
I just got us an edge,
Elias said, giving the Red Ranger a wicked grin. He then hit his communicator on his wrist and teleported out of the Megazord. He appeared in the air in front of Fenrir. As he fell down, he allowed gravity to take him. The other Rangers watched intently from the Megazord cockpit. Elias flew down and held out his new arm. The grey gemstone started to glow as his palm connected to Fenrir's forehead. There was a massive surge of energy as the morphing grid fused with the giant wolf as Elias teleported back into the Megazord cockpit and morphed once again. The other Rangers stood there in awe as they saw that Fenrir had changed. He had shrunk ever so slightly, now matching the size of the individual Zords. His body now metallic, he had now changed and shifted, morphed into the Fenrir Zord. The Blue Viking Ranger held out his hand, and the Fenrir Zord moved swiftly. It jumped up and rolled into a ball, smashing into Zeus, causing it to stagger.
Global Megazord, Viking formation,
the Red Cornish Ranger commanded. The Night Zord, which made the torso, switched places with the Viking Zord. The Night Zord now becoming the leg, and the Viking Zord replacing the torso as it combined with the Horse Zord. And the Global Megazord's Knight formation weapon, the sword, was replaced with the Viking Zord formation, being the sword and shield.
Let's try out our new formation, Mark,
the Blue Ranger barked. The Red Cornish Ranger nodded at the Blue Viking Ranger.
Fenrir Zord, combine,
the Red Cornish Ranger commanded. The Pharaoh Zord disengaged from the Megazord and disappeared, as the Fenrir Zord's legs folded into its body and the tail detached itself. The Fenrir Zord attached itself to the Megazord, becoming the new arm for the Megazord.
Global Megazord, Blue Viking Fang formation,
the Red Cornish Ranger yelled out as the new Global Megazord form took its battle stance.
Please, there is nothing you can do to stop me. And if you're done dancing around, I'm going to finish you.
Zeus roared. Zeus threw out both his hands and a stream of thick black clouds left his palms, lightning flashing deep within them. They flew at the Megazord. The Megazord stood strong and held its Fenrir arm out. The mouth opened, and a translucent white beam fired from the mouth. As a beam shot out, a sharp howl pierced the sky. The beam ripped through the black thunderous cloud attack and struck Zeus. The Megazord jumped forward and punched Zeus with both fists. Zeus tried to punch the Megazord back, but the Megazord caught the incoming punch and kicked Zeus. Then the Megazord jumped back, creating some distance, water exploding as the Megazord danced throughout the ocean.
Piercing Howl Final Strike!
The Blue Viking Ranger called out. The Megazord aimed its Fenrir arm out, bracing itself with its other hand resting on the forearm for support. The mouth of the Fenrir Zord opened again, and it charged up its attack. Then it fired its piercing howl cannon. The beam flew forward and hit Zeus. The monster stood there for a mere moment before falling and causing a massive explosion. Several dark wisps left the explosion and faded away. Then, the infinite lightning storm subdued. The Rangers had teleported in front of Heimdall, Thor, and Zeus, who also reformed back to normal and found his way to Thor.
Are you both okay now?
The Red Cornish Ranger asked. We are no longer under the influence of that brat, so I thank you all for that, Zeus stated.
Well done, Rangers. The lightning strike has been vanquished as we both stand here back in our normal states. I thank you.
Thor said. His words spoke of victory, but his voice was dripping in dread.
Thor, it was not your fault. Neither of you were at fault.
The Blue Viking Ranger reassured them both. Thank you, young one. What we do now is unknown. Our pantheons are still prisoners, and Loki, that demon, is still at large, Zeus stated. Everyone fell quiet for a mere moment, until Heimdall piped up.
I have somewhere the gods can hide, somewhere Loki cannot find. Until our mission is complete, any gods we save will have a safe home for now.
Heimdall admitted.
Good call, Heimdall.
The Gold Celtic Ranger said. Ra would like to have some words at some point. I'll find you guys soon, okay? The White Ranger of Ra said awkwardly. Both the gods nodded at the White Ranger. Thor then approached the Red Ranger and placed a firm grip on his shoulder.
I see your leadership, Red Ranger, but I also see your rage. If I, Thor, the god of thunder, could pass some advice to you, my friend, let your anger go. I have been my own villain of anger, destroying relationships in my time. I plead with you, Red Ranger, do not make the same mistakes I have made. You have a good team and a very important mission ahead. I am trusting you to stop my brother, so you will need to calm your mind and to look past the god of mischief's deceptions.
Thor told the Red Cornish Ranger. The Red Ranger nodded at him. Then the Rangers said their goodbyes to Zeus and Thor, and Heimdall's eyes started to glow and the three gods teleported away. The team had returned to the Museum and Library of Ancient History. Brohan stood there as the team explained the events that had just transpired. It seems like Loki has stepped his game up. We have had a lot to do here. Gods are a whole different level. Sure, you have fought a couple of them already, but Thor and Zeus are in a much different lane of power than them. We must be ready for the next attack, Brohan stated. The team agreed. They all then spent some time relaxing after the hard mission. Elias pulled Brohan and Himiko to one side to analyze the new gemstone that was infused in his new arm, a gemstone that he could not remove.